Hello everyone, my name is Henry. I am a conversation designer and product manager, and today I will be taking you on a very exciting journey through a topic that I'm passionate about and I think is relevant very much so as the chatbot industry continues to grow. The topic is operating a chatbot on your own, turning your chatbot from idea to a data machine. So what exactly is today's core topic? Well, basically it will be the product lifecycle. If you're not too sure what exactly that is, we'll touch on it later on in the presentation. So that brings me into our agenda today. First, we'll look at types of chatbot teams. So different ways that the team might be structured at different companies depending on its size and availability of resources. After that, we will jump into the product lifecycle with phase 1, which is ideation, phase 2, development, phase 3, launch, and phase 4, review. So to jump into types of chatbot teams, what you might expect coming into the industry. Who exactly might be the head of the chatbot officially? It might be a CEO. Could be a head of product, perhaps a content manager, if maybe the chatbot is primarily used for marketing purposes, things like that. For our first example, let's take a look at if the head of product was the position that is in charge of all chatbot doings. So who might they have access to additionally within the company? They would have their chief technology officer or maybe even an entire team of developers at their disposal. They could have a data analyst that comes into marketing data as well as basically just business data. They might have a content manager if they have already established a marketing team. And then there is you, the conversation designer. Now, your role might fall directly under the head of product, depending how hands-on they are, or you might be located in the hierarchy of the company under the content manager. For this presentation example, let's kind of focus on a lean startup, so a small size startup with a conversational agent feature. So that chatbot will be the primary focus of that company. So we have a CEO, they're in charge of the company. The CEO would normally hire a CTO before they even think about a conversation designer, or have already a team of developers. And then there's you, the conversation designer. So that with such a small sized team, your role as a conversation designer might expand a bit, and you may have to look at roles outside of just designing the conversation. That might be content manage, and that means making sure that the content is up to date, relevant, and accurate with the company's policies and procedures. And you may also have to play the role of data analyst. How many people are using the bot? What is the bounce rate? How quickly are they leaving? How many times is your bot's fallback message sent? Meaning, how many times does the bot not accurately understand what the user is saying? These are all things that you may have to begin looking at and considering very seriously if this team that you're on is so small. So now let's jump into the product lifecycle. What exactly is the product lifecycle? Well, for today's example, we'll use a little bit of a modified version to fit a one-person team for chatbot operations. It's kind of the way that I adjusted it a bit for conversational agents. This cycle can be broken down into 4 phases as we saw in the agenda. First, we have ideation, then there's development, launch, and finally review. So why is the product lifecycle important? Well, the product lifecycle offers you an organized method to prepare, launch, and maintain your conversational agents. So it's a great way to keep the content organized, the development and progress that you're making as you continue to expand the content and knowledge of the chatbot. The first phase, ideation. What's the first step of ideation? Prioritize your goals. The first question you should be asking yourself is, why do we want a chatbot? What do we hope to accomplish with it on not only the business side of things, maybe it's to convert customers, but also from the user standpoint. Why would our customers want to use this chatbot and keep coming back to it? As well as many other questions that you can ask yourself in order to set these goals for yourself and then prioritize them based on your business needs and customers' needs. If you need help organizing or prioritizing goals, we can, at the end of the presentation, we'll go over a couple resources that are available out there. The second is use the company's existing resources. Before launch, they had to do a lot of research on their customers and their product or service, and they still have that available. So go digging, find the available information so that you're able to start forming a smart and accurate chatbot. Thirdly, research new resources if required. Maybe you want to make the chatbot seem a bit more holistic, you could say, than being confined to the company's products or services. And you want it to kind of become an expert in the industry, not just the company. So you may have to go researching articles, studies, other things related to your product or service, at which point you can integrate into the conversation to make the chatbot that much more intelligent and a great resource for your customers. Secondly, we have development. So now that you have the ideas, you've gathered all the information, how do we get started on the actual chatbot? First, you'll want to map your flow. What exactly does that mean? I personally love to use flowcharts. I think it's a great way to kind of organize your thoughts and create a map of the conversation. There's different structures and different elements that you can add to show different aspects of the chatbot. So in an example here, we can see one that I was preparing for the health and fitness industry company I was working with. Firstly, we have these square box icons. Those are text interactions. That means it's a statement that the bot is making. We also have these diamond interactions, or I guess icons that you see here, which would be a decision point. The bot will ask the user something, or it will give an opportunity for the user to ask it something. And that's where you might split off into different flows of the conversation. You'll also see this cylinder here, kind of underneath the diamond. That is actually the chatbot using available data. Maybe your chatbot is already connected to your CRM and you're able to draw on the available customer data that you have. Maybe it's some type of shipping service that you offer for household goods. You in your CRM are able to track their last order and estimate when they may be running out of the product that they continue to rebuy. Your chatbot can automatically see that it's almost their time to reorder and actively remind the user of that. So it's great opportunities. Facebook, even, just that platform itself, provides you with a lot of customer data that's on that person's profile. So don't be afraid to use it. After you finish mapping the flow, you'll jump into designing the conversation. I personally love to use an Excel sheet. So I have an example here for you. We see different rows, different columns. In the different rows, it's basically one for each interaction. You see here in column A, the type of interaction. So the bot might say something, it might ask something or wait for a user input. Column B, we see things that the bot says or will send to the user to make it very clear the specific dialogue that will be used. Column C, we see what the user says. So it might be an opportunity for them to input something. This, I personally try to abbreviate with main ideas so that I don't spend too much time focusing on specific language a customer might use, and rather try to use a variety of different sayings that might be related to that option. So like here, food pairing. I might include a lot of different variations that a customer might say that. Column D, we see what the bot does. So what does it do immediately after this interaction? Here in row 1 of the dialogue, we see it continues to the next one. After it asks something, it pauses for user input. If they use food pairing, you continue on to the next one, or you move elsewhere. Column E, you can just add notes for yourself. This template is actually available for free thanks to Hillary from Black Ops, who is a conversational design genius. You can find it at bit.ly/chatbot script template. So it's a bit.ly link for Black Ops template. It's fantastic. There's an instruction sheet, everything you could want. So after you've designed the conversation, the chatbot feels ready, you're not sure, you're a little nervous of showing it to the public, you want to test it internally. Maybe use the group of stakeholders that you have with the chatbot, such as the developers, yourself, maybe your manager, and if there's a marketing team, they usually are a great resource because they're able to try to understand the customer a bit, and there are many communities actually of chatbot conversation designers where you're able to reach out to other industry experts and ask them to lend a hand and test bots. You can find it on Facebook, there's a Discord channel, plenty of resources out there. So once you've tested it internally, things seem to be going good. It's phase 3, the launch. It's a very exciting time in the development of a chatbot because you want to see all of that work you put in pay off. So here's my approach to launching a successful launch of your chatbot. First, you want to try to start with a small test group. If you're able to set specific demographics, say it's in a chatbot internally for your customer service agents to be able to access resources quicker, to answer customers on the phone faster. Try to find maybe your most tech-savvy employee or a couple of them and your least tech-savvy employees and have them each test it out, have a wide range of scenarios available for them to kind of act out as the customer. Or I guess if it's internally as the customer service rep, so they would just play themselves, trying to access different information that the customer is asking of them. After that, you want to, or while that's happening even, don't wait till it's after. Do it at the same time that the tests are happening. Begin anticipating the errors that might occur once you go live. There might be issues with your Facebook page. There might be issues with the HTML code on your website if you're launching on the website. If it's a WhatsApp bot, SMS, there are so many technical things that can arise from these integrations and launching. So you want to kind of be prepared for as many scenarios as you can think of. Thirdly, I call it the initial monitoring. I like to call it Firefighter Appreciation Week because it feels like you're just putting out a lot of fires. You'll be tracking conversations, maybe live, maybe reviewing transcripts to see how the users are interacting with the chatbot. You're able to go in and make adjustments to improve the experience and prepare for the full launch. So once all that is done, you'll want to find and fix the problem areas, preferably prior to the full launch, while people are testing every day. That I guess could be part of the Firefighter Appreciation Week. You find and fix the problem areas. Next, you'll full launch. Go all the way on your website. If it's a WhatsApp, Facebook, make it available for everyone. as well as you begin to understand how the chatbot works, adjust and expand your KPIs as data becomes more available, because everyone has an idea of how a product or chatbot should operate in an ideal world. As conversation designers, we tend to automatically think on the easiest flow and focus on, maybe not focus on that, but that's what we hope for. And might be what we base our KPIs off of. Reaching those could even be unattainable goals. So again, as the data becomes available, make sure to adjust your expectations of the chatbot, as well as set healthy goals for the future based on those realistic data. Next, we have repeat. Let's say you're at the very start of the chatbot, you want to think of the initial idea, what's it going to focus on at first, you develop it, launch, and then review. Then you have an idea of expanding from maybe trying to convert potential customers to assisting existing customers with tracking orders, maybe with reordering stock, any number of things. But the point is that you're expanding the maybe customer base, the knowledge, and so you want to start that process over with ideation, then with the new content that you're gonna put in it. Then you develop, launch, and review, and you continue that cycle to continue improving your chatbot with each release. So based on what we've discussed today, which phase is the most important in the product lifecycle in your opinion? This is kind of a biased question because it's based on my opinion as well. There's no right answer, but we'll give you a couple seconds to think of it, and the correct answer is A, ideation. Why do I think that? Primarily because if you prepare well enough, there will be less work to do later on. So you want to go hard from the beginning, and a great example of expanding on that idea is this quote by Alan Lakin. Planning is bringing the future into the present so that you can do something about it now. And I feel like that is a great way to approach chatbots. So good luck. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. There's plenty of free resources out there for conversation designers. As previously mentioned from Black Ops, you can download the chatbot script template. On my website, I do offer a stats template on Excel, so a place where you can go and begin to collect your data and keep it organized for your chatbot, as well as a product guideline template. So if you need a place to keep your goals organized for the business standpoint and the user standpoint, you want to put guidelines for conversational, tone, anything like that, there's tons of sections in there, and it's all customizable to your needs. So thank you for watching. I hope you learned something. Feel free to visit my website, henryg.co. There's a contact option there. You can also find me on LinkedIn. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm here. Thank you.